It seems so sweet and touching. A box of chocolate arrives in the mail, sent by an old friend from clear on the other side of the country.
Elizabeth Pennington of Dover opens the gift, shares it with her family as an after-dinner treat. Big mistake. Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore author, here to tell us about this infamous and true crime from back in, what,
1898.
98.
Yes.
What is going on here?
It was a big deal. It was kind of like the O.J. Simpson trial, if you remember. Just this complete, total media circus. So, Elizabeth Pennington.
She was famous.
She was from a very famous Delaware family.
Okay.
Her father was a congressman for a while. Her father was the attorney general. So she had this beautiful life, except she made a terrible mistake in that she fell in love and married a man named John Dunning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
John Dunning was from Middletown, Delaware. Elizabeth was from Dover, Delaware.
Okay.
John Pennington was a journalist. He got a big break by covering a natural disaster. Ends up with this dream job in San Francisco. He's the head of the Associated Press Bureau in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
They move there. They have a baby girl. Everything seems to be going right.
Mm-hmm.
Going good? No. John Dunning is a cad. He's a con man.
Oh.
He's probably a thief. He ends up losing that job, and there's all kinds of accusations about money is missing and things like that. He's also a gambling addict. And he is out, this is the kind of guy he is. He's out riding his bike in Golden Gate Park one day. He gets a flat tire, and a woman gestures nearby on a bench, gestures him to come over. This is the 1890s.
Mm-hmm.
This is not how two unattached men, male and female adults, behave. You're not supposed to
You don't do that.
They went right at each other, and they both started the relationship by lying through their teeth. He started talking about how awful, what an awful person his wife was. Her name is Cordelia Botkin. She is 41 years old. She tells him she's 29 and a widow. Her husband is still alive. They kind of deserve each other.
They're made for each other.
They're kind of made for each other.
So how'd it go?
And so they go into this, a torrid affair. It is very public. They're going to the opera together. They're walking through town. Poor Elizabeth Pennington from Dover just gives up. It's 1890s. You don't get a divorce. So she just moves back to Dover and moves back in with her father. And the torrid affair in San Francisco continues for a long time until John Dunning kind of changes his mind and says, I want to get back with my wife. This does not sit well with Cordelia Botkin. Now, this is...
You don't make Cordelia mad.
Nope.
You don't make Cordelia, yes. This is before we ever had anything like the anthrax cases back when or anything like that. Murder by mail is basically unheard of at this point. So these chocolates arrive at the house signed by a friend, Mrs. C, from San Francisco. And they have dinner, there's corn fritters, there's fried trout. She serves up the chocolates afterwards. Everyone who ate that dinner got sick. And Elizabeth and her sister died.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
And the coroner comes in and he decides that it was the servant's fault and the corn fritters were to blame. It was a bad batch of corn fritters and it was food poisoning that killed them.
So she got away with it?
She would have if it wasn't for Elizabeth's father. Elizabeth's father, knowing he's got a cad of a son-in-law, calls in a friend of his who's a chemist at the University of Delaware. He goes through everything and finds that there was enough arsenic in the chocolate to kill a horse.
Oh!
All laced. Yes.
Wow.
All right.
So, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, this story continues.
It does. So the trial, have you ever, the phrase yellow journalism, when like everything in the papers, even more than it is today, it was like sex and crime and violence. This is the height of the yellow journalism era. So everything goes crazy over this trial. I'll give you a spoiler alert. They did figure out Cordelia and they did find her guilty, but there's whole other kind of chapters, really fun stuff about the trial and also a whole nother chapter.
There's more to the story.
It goes on and on and on.
Which means you're going to have to come back.
We could do four. Let's stick to two.
You're going to come back next week and tell us about it.
Next week.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Don't forget.
I'll try not
We need you here.
I'll try not to.
Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore, thank you.